Today is a very special day for me, for it was more or less in this position relative to our star that 22 years ago I emerged onto this planet. I've been on many adventures, seen tons of places and collected many things, mostly facts. I do love my fact collection. So, to commemorate this most special of occasions for me, for you it's probably just another Friday, I thought I'd stroll past the hallway of birthdays past and peek behind a few doors. For the longest time I remember I wanted to do one of two things for my birthday party. Either have a snowball fight or a water balloon war. But the time that my birthday's in the year is kind of awkward. It's too early in the year, too cold to do anything with water. But at the same time, winter has usually faded away too much for any snow to form. So, none of my two events I wanted to do were really possible. But still, every year I prayed with all my might that it might snow. Usually the snow didn't come, but I had hope, for it had happened once before. When I was 3 years old, I prayed for snow, and the very next day, the gods delivered. When I woke up and looked out the window, the horizon was filled with a carpet of cotton batting. As soon as I could, I rushed outside, with my family joining me on this adventure. We sledded down the neighborhood, fought with snowballs, and once we were tired of all of that, we got to building. There was so much snow that not only did we manage to build 2 igloos, but we also made a snowman for everyone in the family, even decorating them with some of our clothes. Once we were done, it was time to head back home, drink some hot cocoa, and enjoy the rest of the day. Except my family wanted me to get in the igloos. Now, granted, they weren't necessarily small igloos. My sister had fit in them. And even my father, the almost 2-meter tall giant, managed to fit. But somehow, I remember having this tremendous fear of going inside. Like, I tried to argue my way out of it. Oh, I'll just sleep in it tonight, no big deal. But it'll melt. It will? What a shame. Then I guess I'll just not do it. Good job, everyone. It's not an opportunity that comes every day. Get in the igloo, Noah. Fine. I'll go inside, you happy? I got pneumonia the next day, and I had to spend the next week or so in bed. Wasn't that a fun little memory? Too bad I haven't had snow like that since I was little. I mean, there was a few other occasions where it snowed on my birthday. Like when I was 6, but the amount always shrunk. Stupid global warming always ruining my fun. Anyway, let's see what's behind door number 5, shall we? I grew up in a very multicultural environment. My mother spoke her native Portuguese with me and my sisters, while my father spoke his German to us. And then, when I went onto the street, I spoke Spanish to everyone, because that's the language of the country I was in. This made me very aware of multiple languages and cultures existing, even from a very young age. I probably didn't know what they were. I just knew, with this person I speak like this, and with this person, I speak like that. My parents didn't want to overrun with too many languages, of course. Both of them speak like 5 or 6, and cramming all of those into a developing brain is most likely to overload it. So based on what my mother had learned from the previous kids and from some parenting books, she was trying to be careful with the amount of languages she crammed in here. The books say that 3 is the max, as the child needs to spend about 1/3 of the time immersed in that language. Apparently, having me learn transparent languages like Portuguese and Spanish was already pretty risky, so she wasn't going to risk breaking my brain with a 4th language. But I had other plans. I would learn a 4th language, even if it cost me my brains. I was 3, I wasn't going to be using that anyway. But what language would it be, I wonder? With all the possibilities out there, how would I be able to choose just one? English. It was obviously English. Until when I was about 5 years old, my dad worked in London and would come visit us over the weekend. So every Friday he'd come to me with 2 choices. I could pick the option behind door number 1 or the option behind door number 2. Rarely was there a door number 3. Regardless, I was going to be getting a new DVD from one of my favorite shows, which at the time were Bob the Builder, Fireman Sam, Postman Pat, and Thomas the Tank Engine. I still wonder if he just had one disc and would just move it from hand to hand, but it matters not, for the illusion of choice was there, and no matter what, I was getting new episodes to watch during my 1 hour of television of the day. I consumed these discs with glee, enjoying the adventures of firemen, construction workers, and postmen. I even wanted to be a fireman myself at the time. The problem with pure data is if you can't process it, it's basically worthless to you. Luckily, I had a neighbor from the land of the Angles. Let's call him Fred. Now, Fred and I were very good friends, playing with each other very often, giving me plenty of opportunities to practice my English and develop it in secret. It might be very hard to believe, but when I was a wee lad, learning this strange language, I had a British accent. So, when I was about 3 years old, I had learned English, but my parents wouldn't find out until my 5th birthday. For 2 years, my parents had no idea I spoke this completely other language. I remember talking to one of my sister's friends during this time. "Oh, you speak 3 languages and you're only 4 years old. Very impressive." No. I speak 4 languages. I speak 4 and I am 4. Okay then. It wasn't exactly like I was trying to keep my knowledge of the English language a secret or anything, but it ended up being that way. My 5th birthday party was a very auspicious occasion. There was cake, gifts, and my sister played the role of a clown in a spectacular performance. Very fun times. It was during this part that my mother and friends were having a chat, with me and my friends playing around. "It's so impressive that your son can speak so many languages at such a young age." I mean, 4 is a lot. "My dear, he speaks 3. It's important to mention at this point that my mom and Fred's had various arguments over the years, where Fred's mom apparently usually ended up losing the argument. No, he speaks 4. "Look, Martha, he speaks Spanish, German, Portuguese. He also speaks English." "No, he doesn't. We never taught him that." "Just ask him." "Martha, I'm telling you, he just doesn't speak English." "And I'm telling you he does." "Hi, Martha." "Noah, where's that Spider-Man puzzle?" And in a perfect British accent, I responded, "In the cupboard." My mother was absolutely flabbergasted. Quite the surprising way to find out that your child speaks a language, I must say. Needless to say that my family dynamics changed after this. We went from speaking a combination of Portuguese and German at the dinner table, since my parents didn't really speak each other's languages that well, but did understand them, to speaking English, a common language that we all spoke. My birthdays have been rather dull lately, especially when compared to the lively stories of my childhood. You know what you can do to make this birthday more lively? Tell me any fun stories of your birthdays past in the comments below. Oh crap, I have to go. My party's about to start. Enjoy the next video, bye!